Hey guys, welcome to another YouTube video, and welcome to actually since obviously game 2 of State of Origin and of men's State of Origin, and the deciding third game of women's State of Origin is quite literally around the corner, quite literally. I thought it's time to do a bit of a review of men's State of Origin game 1 and women's State of Origin, I should say, game 2, and then do a preview. So don't worry, there will be a preview of men's Origin game 2 and women's Origin 3. Which that will come probably after this bit, long after this video comes out. Hopefully, I'll get out before Origin 2 starts. Or not long after it starts. So don't worry, it will eventually come out. But anyways, apologies for not doing this review after these two matches that had happened a few weeks ago. For some reason, I had it in my mind, but I just didn't feel like doing it. And I just kept on pushing it back, and finally I'm gonna do it now. Let's just get right into it. We'll start off with, of course, men's Origin 1 down at Accor Stadium in Homebush, at the Olympic Park precinct. It was very much anticipated. I was looking forward to it. Of course, me personally being a Maroons fan, it was great to see how they will go. So it kicked off, and from what I watched, it felt like, to me, I can remember that match was the first 3 or 4 minutes. It seemed like to me that New South Wales had more intent than the Queenslanders, than the Queensland side, because they were completing their section. When New South Wales, when they were completing their first two or three sets, they would normally end on either the halfway line or at Queensland's half. And then basically when Queensland completed their final tackle in each of their first couple of sets, that's when I don't think they got anywhere near the halfway line. I got to about the 40-meter line, and that was it. But that was until in the 5th minute when Ben Hunt broke through and scored to make it 4-0, which was converted by Val Holmes, which made it 6-0. And then this is the moment where I bring this out, and this is where the big controversy happened with Joseph Sua'awi. Where he legit clotheslined the hell out of Reece Walsh, and basically it was brought to the ref's attention, and then basically the ref, which was, I know who it was. I think it was. I'm trying to remember who the ref was. I'll get to that in a bit. And he's like, there was a dangerous tackle. You're sent off in the 8th minute of the game. I'll explain what absolutely pissed me off at post game afterwards. But anyways, Was it the right call? Yes, definitely, because it was only right. Reece Walsh was off for the rest of the game afterwards. I think it was a grade 1 concussion. I remember rightly. I think it was a grade 1 concussion. So basically, out for the rest of the game. Failed his, well, actually no. It was confirmed that he successfully completed his HIA, but at the end of the day, it's the doc's decision, and they ruled him out. So for the rest of the game. So as I bring this back in here. The one thing that also it took me. I'm surprised that about that as well. It was surprising that the refs didn't stop the game straight away. I know that Walsh was down behind play, but I mean they should have stopped the game straight away, because you never know. Queensland, because Reece Walsh was laying there unconscious on the near side of the ground. If you're looking at if you're looking at the TV, he's at the near side. And you never know, maybe Queensland might have thrown it to that near side, would have been intercepted, and intercepted by New South Wales bloke, and he would have sped probably almost straight into some medical staff there that were tending to Reece Walsh. So I'm surprised that they didn't stop it straight away, but eventually they did stop it. Anyways, of course, obviously Selwyn Cobbo came on in place of Reece Walsh for the rest of the game. So yeah. And then soon Liam Martin, obviously, he conceded a penalty. And of course, Maroons decided to take the 2. Val Holmes took it and made it 8-0. And then just as when we all thought, oh God, here we go, the Maroons are going to absolutely run away with this. Well, eventually they did, but we all thought they were going to run away with this in the next 10, in the first 10 minutes or so when New South Wales are trying to sort themselves out with Sulawi sent off. Jimmy Tedesco scored a try which was surprising, considering he wasn't the first choice fullback. Actually, Dylan Edwards was the first choice fullback, but he injured his calf, I think, pre-game, 2 or 3 days before the game. I think he did it in the last Panthers game before this match. I remember rightly. And it was converted by Nico Hines to make it a little bit more interesting at 6 points to 8. And then this is where I said a moment ago about Maroons running away with it. They did run away with it. It was, speaking of which, the big hammer so to Balfado. It scored a try and did his famous fins up celebration. Oh, I love that celebration now. I just love it when he says fins up. Yeah. And I just every single time I'm either watching a Dolphins game or an Origin game, if he scores a try, I just I'm like, come on, score a try so I can do the fins up with you. So yeah, I love that. Anyways, but anyways, Val Holmes scores the conversion, makes it 14-6. But not long afterwards, the Hammerstone made it a double. Made it 2 in about 3-4 minutes. Yeah, 3 and 4 minutes. Thanks to a line break from Murray Taulagi, and of course Hamaso scored to make it 18 points to 6, with Val Holmes scoring yet again the conversion to make it 20 points to 6 after it in the 25-minute mark, which was not good signs for the Blues. They're already down a man for that rest of that game. And suddenly now they're 20 points to 6 down. But other than that, obviously there's some interchanges. some set restarts, a lot of them from the Blues, some errors, line dropouts. Yeah, and that was pretty much it. So the halftime ended at, so at the half it was a 20-6 at halftime. And in the second half, surprisingly, very surprisingly, it was actually the Blues that started better. It was the Blues that started better in the second half. Started the second half well, and it ended in a try to Origin debutant Zach Lomax, who made it 10 points to 20. But unfortunately, Nico Hines missed his conversion. I think it was a tight. It was from a very long way out, anyways, and still it was 20 points to 10. And it was just basically the Blues continuing to pile the pressure on, really, for much of it. I mean, Jerome Luai was doing Jerome Luai things. Brian To'o was doing, of course, Brian To'o things, obviously. But they couldn't, they couldn't find a way through to try to basically narrow the gap down to just the one try. They just couldn't do it. And then in the 55th, in the 56th minute, good old DCE, the skipper of Queensland, delivered a 40-20 kick, which was absolutely unbelievable. Which probably changed the tide in that second half, to be honest. And then obviously a lot of interchanges, some errors in there as well, and then obviously, then in the 66th minute, obviously Ben Hunt broke through and scored his second try of the game to make it 24 points to 10, and put the score almost basically put the game beyond doubt there, with Val Holmes being dead-eyed dick as he was on that night, scoring the conversion again to make it 26 points to 10. And then not long after that, Xavier Coates scored to pretty much really did put the game beyond doubt with a try in the 70th minute, which, you guessed it, was converted by Val Holmes to make it 32 points to 10. And that was just about it from there. Of course, Hamaso scored to complete his Origin hat trick. With a try close to the end of the game to make it 36 points to 10, and the game pretty much started with Val Holmes' conversion, and it pretty much ended the same way too, with Val Holmes' conversion, and the score ended with 38 points to 10. A pretty good performance, really, from the Blues, being down a man for, what was it? That happened in the 8th minute. That was about 72 minutes, which is about nearly 90% of the game. With and they basically, if it wasn't for the DCE, 40-20, they probably at some point would have scored a try. Would have had a chance to score a try, maybe convert one, or score one, and then basically, boom, they're back in the game somehow. And at some point in the second half, I thought to myself, no, there's no way that there's the possibility that they could, come back in this, despite having been down a man and the Maroons dominating for most of the game. So yeah, but anyways, about that. So of course, the final score, 38 points to 10. The game was played in front of 77,214 at Accor Stadium. Of course, the two try scorers, obviously, for the Blues, quite obviously, were Tedesco and Lomax, with Nico Hines being 1 from 2 in conversions. And we all know Joseph Sula-Awi was sent off in the 7th minute. 6 tries were scored by the Maroons. And it was from 3 different players. Ben Hunt with a double in the 4th and 66th. Xavier Coates with a try, and then of course Hamiso to buy Fido with a hat trick. With I think his first. I think it's his first Origin hat trick. I believe. I think I can't. I need someone in the comments to correct me on that. I think it was Hamiso's first Origin hat trick there on that front. Looking at the team's stats, surprisingly, in terms of possession and completions, it was all New South Wales, despite them being down a man. 53% possession, 81% completion rate. Then this is where their post-contact meters from the line breaks are the big thing that's got here. I mean, 7 line breaks from the Maroons compared to only the 1 from the Blues. That's one that's really stuck out at me there. Average play to ball speed. Blues slightly quicker. Offloads more. Basically, it's basically either Blues dominated or very close in terms of close or pretty much even. Kicks, we all there's the 40-20. We all know from DCE. Effective tackles, pretty even really. Almost even pretty much even in terms of tackles made. Missed tackles as well, intercepts, errors. Surprisingly, the Maroons made a lot more errors compared to the Blues. Ruck infringements, 5 in the whole game, 3 of them to the Maroons. Of course, the Blues got the 1 sent off, and head injury assessment. Yeah, so the stats really didn't show, or the scoreline didn't show how even the game was. The Blues had their moments, especially at the start of the second half, but at the end the Maroons was too strong, and so obviously to move on to game 2, which is over at the Goodale G, the MCG. Expect probably about something like 80 to 90,000 people there. Most likely, that is going to be absolutely bonkers to see whether the Blues can send this to a decider down at Suncorp, or for the second straight year, the Maroons wrap up the series in game 2, which just like they did last year. It's a bit 50-50 there on that front. Let's move on here to the women's Origin 2 between the Sky Blues and the Maroons. Obviously, the Blues came off of shocking the Maroons in game 1, which was the game before the start of Magic Round. And it was a pretty low scoring game, really. So start off with pretty much pretty low scoring, pretty much. It didn't take until the 24th minute for Keely Davis to we actually got our first score on the board 24 minutes in, which was and it was in slushy, horrible conditions as well, by the way, in Newcastle, by the way, on this night. It was a night where basically scoring was at a premium really. And that was how it ended. Basically. There's not much really to speak about in the first half. Not much really to talk about in the first half. And then the second half, of course, we of course obviously Shanae, and then the Maroons scored their first try in 54 minutes, but of course that conversion was missed to make it to make it back to 6-4. There and then about 4 minutes later, Tiana Penatani scored to on the sideline to make it 10-4. To maybe put this game beyond doubt at that. Well, or so we thought. Put the game beyond doubt there. And I was watching the whole game, and during the last dying minutes of this game, I thought to myself, when it was 10-4, I was like, there's gonna be a twist this time. There's gonna be one last twist, and it happened in the 61st straight away, when Taran Aiken scored to make it 8-10, and then Lauren Brown converted to make it 10-10. And I thought, oh my god, could this go to golden point? But Lauren Brown decided, stuff you, I'm going to kick a field goal to win the game and send us to a decider in Townsville. And she did, in the wet, and bang, scored it, and it was just incredible. Absolutely incredible, and it was incredible there. So and it ended, of course, Maroons 11, the Sky Blues 10. Of course, the Maroons sending the series to a decider at Townsville. Of course, the game played at McDonald Jones Stadium in Newcastle, played in slushy, horrible conditions. As I said, scoring was at a premium. In front of 25,782. So it must be hardy fans down there in Newcastle. Let's put it that way. 2 tries each for the Maroons. 1 from 2 conversions each, and Lauren Brown with the go ahead field goal near the end of the game. Looking at the stats here, it just for me, when I was watching the game, it felt like that the Blues dominated about nearly 80% of the game, 90% of the game, and it was almost like it was theirs to lose pretty much. But they just fell away in the last 7 or so minutes, and it led to the Blues. Led to the Maroons, winning the game. But look at the stats here, statistics here. I mean, Maroons in front, 51% possession. Maroons had the better completion rate, 80% compared to 73%. Running meters, contact meters. The tackle breaks are the more obvious one here. 35 tackle breaks for the Sky Blues to the Maroons 25. That's a bit telling for me about how the game has gone. Average play to ball speed. Maroons a tenth of a second quicker. Even on offloads. Total passes even. Dummy passes, that's a plus 33 from the Maroons, 55-22, the Queensland's way. Then even in terms of kick defusal, even in bombs and grubbers, the big thing here, 89% tackle efficiency for the Sky Blues, 85% for the Maroons. It's another telling thing for me on that. Tackles, errors even, penalties conceded close to even, so it seemed like to me as though the Blues had a chance to basically seal the series in Newcastle. They had the chance. They were 10-6. They were 10-4 up, and all they needed to do was just keep possession or at least score one more try. And they were close to that at times, but it wasn't close enough. And obviously led to, of course, the try and then obviously, of course, also the try, the conversion, and the field goal as well. So pretty much, So pretty much, the women's state of origin, which game 3, which I'll do a full preview on which will be on this Thursday, the 27th of June, down at Townsville. That will be when the Women's Origin Shield will be presented. If it's going to be to a Maroons player or to a Blues player, we still don't know that. But anyways, about that. So one last thing before I get out of here, and I did mention about that Joseph Suaalii send off. Like I said at the start, did he deserve to be sent off? Yes, definitely. He should not have got his shoulder into where he was, and I think it was right for him that he got sent off, because obviously because we all knew he was going to be out of concussion, so they've lost a player. It only is fair that they lose a player for in him getting sent off, and everyone can complain all they want, but I think it's the right call on this one. But what pisses me off here, and I don't like, to be honest, I'm sick and tired of it, to be honest, and that is NRL experts like Gordon Tallis and Braithen Astar and all these other guys on Fox League, and even on Channel 9, like Andrew Johns, like Andrew Johns, for example, or Brad Fittler, or the guys like that, like Cam Smith, come out and say, Origin, you could do, you get sent off. Listen, Origin, you let this go on Origin. You let it go. You let those go. This is Origin. This is Origin. Bullshit. We're not in the 80s. We're certainly not in the 90s. We're in 2024, for God's sake. Seriously, we're in 2024, and we're at a time now where we're protecting the players more than ever. Yes, I do understand protecting the game, but we need to protect the players as well. I mean, some, and I know it's about AFL. I'm talking about AFL. So it's been already in the last few years, past players that have passed away tragically because of CTE. I mean, come on, seriously. And the amount of times that Reece Walsh has done this, I won't be surprised if at some point CTE comes to him in his later stage of his life. I won't be surprised. But for me, I just don't like the fact that people are saying they're still now comparing incidents like this in NRL and then incidents like this in Origin. I just cannot stand it for it anymore. I just can't. We're in a different era now, where protecting players, especially from some things like concussions, are going to be the norm. So I think for me, it's just absolute bullshit that people should think that sort of act like Suaalii did to Reece Walsh is sort of thing that gets a free pass. It gets a free passport because it's Origin. No, it doesn't. It doesn't deserve a free. It doesn't deserve a free pass like that. I think loved ones of Reece Walsh were there. I believe on that night too. Just for example, if I for example played in State of Origin and my family saw me getting knocked out, getting knocked unconscious by someone with someone's flying shoulder, would they be horrified? Yes, hell yes. So it's gonna be horrifying for those families that people that of this specific player for example that basically that gets knocked out during a game. It's just for me to end on this here, this whole thing about comparing Origin to acts like this in Origin and acts like this in a normal NRL game, they need to stop. They need to stop. As I said, we're not in the 90s and we're certainly not in the 80s. We're not that anymore. We're in 2024. We're in 2024, and that's it for me. So with that over, I'm gonna end this video off here. So like this video. Share this to anybody who is a Maroons fan or a Queensland Rugby League fan. Comment down below what were your thoughts, if all your thoughts on that Joseph Suaalii send off. Do you think it was the right call? Do you agree with me saying it was the right call? Do you think he shouldn't have been sent off? Do you agree with me in saying that this whole thing with comparing Origin and NRL needs to stop? Do you agree with that? I hope you do. Yeah. And one last thing, somewhere down there, click on the big red button which is labeled subscribe. It really does help me out quite a bit there. And there will be later a preview video on both, as I said earlier, game 2 of men's Origin and the deciding third game of the women's Origin as well. So look out for that as well. As I said, I'll try and get it out before Origin 2 starts, but I won't make any promises there. But until next time, guys, I'll see you guys later. Queenslander!